I think journaling can help anyone be happier. And the reason I think that is because we're all too busy. We're constantly moving and we never stop. In fact, I don't think we like to stop. Even if you're not physically doing a lot, I guarantee your mind is busy. Social media, smartphones, and the internet, we're constantly searching, thinking, or worrying about something. Journaling forces you to stop and look at what's going on in your life and examine how you're personally doing. Now you might be thinking, well, I tried that in elementary school and I hated it. And I get that. I think all of us, we've tried journaling at one point in our lives, but I find a lot of people misunderstand it and how great it can be. So if you haven't tried journaling or are willing to give it a try one more time, today's video is for you. This is about journaling for beginners. Now, there are a lot of claims as to why journaling is good for you. I've been journaling for about 10 years on and off, and I definitely can see how it helps. But the thing about journaling is there are a lot of different ways to do it and different benefits you get depending on what you want out of it. Personally, I journal because it's helped me to be more relaxed, aware, and honest. And I wanted to share my experience with these benefits. Now, again, you may get something different out of it depending what you want. But that's why the key thing about journaling is to find out what you want help with and how it helps you and the benefits for you personally. When journaling, I love to do two things that help me to relax. I reflect and I vent. When I reflect, it's almost like problem solving. I look back at moments, I try to figure out why it happened, how I felt about it, and what can I do differently. For example, if I get in a fight, I might ask myself, why was this person mad at me? Or why was I mad at that person? And maybe I'll come to a conclusion as to what I should do next. Now, on the other hand, when I vent, I'm not trying to, solve a problem. I'm really just trying to express anger, anxiety, sadness, or just, any unhappy feeling. I might complain about someone or something that happened, whine about how life is so unfair, or ramble on how worried I am about my life. It doesn't matter how unrealistic or unreasonable or illogical I may be, because it's not about finding a solution or understanding anything. The whole purpose is to give me a chance to release any emotions and thoughts that I'm carrying. Now, until I started doing this, I really didn't think I had any built-up emotions. But I noticed without exception, everyone does. And having a daily or weekly release to openly express yourself really helps with that stress and that tension. Next is being more aware. When I sat down to journal, I didn't know, what to write. I would tell myself, nothing stressful or eventful happened today. But I would force myself to find something. I would think, well, even though nothing stressful happened, what's the most stressful thing, even if it's small? And that led me to another thing and another. And when I finished, I would realize I actually had a lot of things stress me out that day. Now, this to me was a big eye-opener. Think about it. Even if you don't remember what happened to you that day, it still happened. And a lot of these feelings like stress, they don't just go away unless you do something to de-stress in some way. And if you don't realize you're stressed and need a break, you might end up burning out or feeling, really sad one day and not know why. Journaling helped me be aware not just of the stress in my life, but all my emotions, even the good ones, and all the things that are going on that I may have looked over in that day. Lastly, coupled with awareness is being more honest. Honest with myself and with other people. When you journal, it's really just you talking to you. And you might think it's easy to be honest with yourself, but it's not. We lie to ourselves every day, and a lot of times we don't even mean to do it. Like, I have a baby son that often wakes up crying at night. Now, my initial thought to myself would be to say, it doesn't bother me too much. I love my baby, and he can't really, help it. He's just a baby. But if I really thought about it, my honest answer would be, man, my baby is so annoying. Why can't you just go to sleep through the night? Now, again, that's not the reaction I would aim for if I was perfect. And it's not even, realistic to expect anything more from a baby. But I have to accept that right now, I'm not perfect. And it bothers me. And, that's okay. To practice being honest with yourself is really difficult. And it's really scary to find and learn to accept your faults and imperfections. But the more honest you are with yourself, it actually helps you to identify, the problems and what are real solutions that could help you be happier. Now, there are two ways that I like to journal. The first is in creating journal lists. You just pick a topic, and each day or week you focus on writing down a certain number of things in that topic. A common one is like a gratitude list where you write down things you're grateful for, or a win list is good where you write down things you want to accomplish that day or things you did that you're proud of. Or you even might write down like new people you met that day if you want to focus on social things. Now, I found journal lists are especially helpful when I started to journal because it's super structured and there's a lot of direction to it. So it just seems more doable and easier to write down 3 things a day than trying to write down like a paragraph or a story of what happened. And it's great because even though it's simple, it still helps me to reflect about what happened that day and helps me pay attention to things that I may have missed during the day. The second way is just writing down your thoughts about anything. I normally pick events that happened to me during the day and I just say what I thought about it and how I felt. Normally I pick moments where I was either more stressed than normal or happier than normal. But if I can't think of anything that happened that day, which rarely happens, I also write down, about future events or things in the past that have stressed me out. I even write about topics like, who do I want to be? Am I happy right now? What's something I want to change? Recently, my favorite topic is writing about the responsibilities I have and the difficulties or benefits that come with it. I've written about what it's like being a father, a son, a friend, and a husband, which have all really helped me to understand myself a lot more. But, lists and thoughts, I think both are really good starting points to journaling, rather than just writing down every single thing you did in the day, because it helps you narrow it down. It takes a lot less time. And it's really focusing on that idea of being more aware and more attentive to things going on in my life. Now, I wanted to end this video with a few tips that will help you have a better chance of succeeding when you journal. And the first tip is to not worry about reading it again. When I was younger, people made it sound, like myself or future generations would be reading my journal. So it kind of put a lot of pressure on me, wanting to make it sound meaningful and making sure I didn't sound dumb. But the truth is that few people ever read your journal, even yourself. And I think that's perfectly fine. For the most part, journaling is for you right now when you do it. The next thing, though, is don't try to write every single thing in your whole day. Remember, the whole point isn't to document everything you did, but to express the feelings and thoughts in your head, which means, what you ate for breakfast may or may not matter. It depends on you. Don't make it complicated. It really doesn't matter how you journal or what you use to journal. It can be, as simple as a plain old notebook, or you can do it on your computer. The most important thing, though, is that you do it any way you can. There really are no rules to it, so it's just about finding the easiest way that works for you and to stick with it. Next, it really does help, not just with this, but with any habit, to have a routine. By pairing journaling with waking up or something you do before bed, it makes it a lot easier to remember to do it. And lastly, don't expect your whole life to change or to find some huge insightful message in your journal writing. Just like any skill, it takes time. So, your first attempts might be really pitiful. But don't worry, you'll get better and, it'll become more and more enjoyable over time. But you have to take into account that, starting anything and developing that skill is not the easiest thing. But, that's it. Hopefully this motivated you in some way to try journaling one more time. So good luck with all of it. Journaling has really helped me, and I hope, it helps you in some way.